So there's no-
10 million at this moment, I get distracted.
No.
Some members from the second board.
No. No.
I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go back and just test, it
Okay.
should be good, and then start out.
All right.
Perfect. Okay.
Are you showing next week, the planning board meeting?
Yeah.
Testing. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, okay.
It's May 21st. Budget.
All these people that are gonna come to the meeting are gonna school.
Yeah,
My
May
God.
21st.
But it's wrong now.
Okay.
Right place, wrong, right place, wrong pew.
I don't know.
Right.
It's 12:02. All right, I'll mention that.
No. I've listened to it for too long and nobody ever got to me. They'll put up, for years we did. I'm like, is this how it happens? I'm thinking to myself, you know.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
What next?
I'm ready whenever y'all are.
All right.
I'm here as the key.
All right, let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Cheesley,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum, Cook,
Here, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. All right, thank you. You may be seated. I apologize for the late start this evening. Prior to us coming out on the floor, there was a presentation of the Arbor Day Kids Coloring Contest Awards. I'd like to turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. There was a celebration. I just want to read this real quick. In celebration of Arbor Day 2024, whereas in 1872, Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that the special day be set aside for planting. Whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the entire nation and the world, and whereas the trees can reduce the erosion along our sides of streets, creeks, our topsoil, assist by wind, water, lower our heating, cooling costs, and also moderate our air temperatures, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a remarkable source of giving us paper, wood for homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property value, enhance the economic value of our business areas and our homes, and beautify our communities, and whereas trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal wherever they are planted. And whereas the city of Tonawanda has been designated as a Tree City USA for another year, 2023, by the Arbor Day Foundation. And now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Mayor John White, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 as Arbor Day. So I'd like to hand this to Mandy. Come on up. I'm going to congratulate her and thank you for this, Mandy.
You want to get a picture? All right, communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. Common Council is not going into executive session. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. I just want to add that the battery is dead in the microphone, so please talk as loud as you can so we can capture your comments. And for those that are joining us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the city clerk will call upon you. Comments or questions on the resolutions? Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
Norma Kitzmiller, 96 Cleveland Avenue. As the resolutions all affect 2% cap of property taxes, correct?
That's correct.
My first question, how does the 2% override affect individual homeowners, businesses regarding their credits, rebates, and checks from the state, county, and federal governments? What do we lose as individuals?
I
The
will,
second one is, why is it necessary to conduct this vote so far in advance of the time? If the 2% override is placed in position now, it would pretty much guarantee that the budget will go over the 2% with no real incentive to keep it under once it's been approved. The other part, when the school district goes over the state cap, it's put before the voters for a vote. Why don't we do it with the budget also? Let the citizens of the city of Tonawanda vote on it and look for the 60% override there.
okay, so I'll answer questions 2 and 3. I will look into question number 1. 2 and 3, this is a 4-step process. So this is step 1 of that process. It is a lengthy process. It's a state law. There's filings we have to do with the state, et cetera. So it's typical that we would start this process as early as we can. Question number 3 is, why isn't this a referendum? The city doesn't require it to be a referendum vote. So if there are comments, questions, feedback about the budget, I would implore you to reach out to your council members.
I do understand that, but my question is, why not? Why not change it?
It's not required. It would,
Give the residents a vote. If you're asking them for their money, shouldn't they have a vote on that?
well, that's why you elect representatives. And I would encourage you to reach out to your representative. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you for your questions. Mr. Clerk, we have another comment on the floor.
William Reese, 72 Walter Avenue, City of Tonawanda. I had the pleasure of attending the government finance school today in Geneva, so where we had people from the Office of the State Controller come in and talk about specifically the tax cap and why every municipality should override it every year as early as possible because of the tool that it provides and the horrifyingly bad effects if you don't override and something happens at the end of the year. And a lot of the city's costs come in the last 2 weeks of September when we find out what our pension bills are, when we find out a lot of our finance costs as they come through the year. But they recommend that every municipality look at overriding the local law each year, which actually seems counterintuitive because the state's telling you that, but the state's also the one that enacted the 2% or the tax cap law, and then they tell you should just override it. But the idea is when you do the override, it does bring the community into the process because it requires the extra public hearings and the extra work with the council and the public, because it has to go through such a process with the publications and the public hearing. What they also reminded us is that back when this started, it was a political ploy when it started, they offered the rebate checks back in 2015. Those all ended by, I believe, no later than 19, but I think in 18. So what they said now was there's no reason not to override it, to have it there, to remove it from the budget talks. So it's not that problem because it has to be passed before you have your final budget passing. And that has to happen by November 20th. So with the timing issues, you'd actually, if you started in August, you started now, they recommend you actually do it pretty much in February every year or January to get that out of the way because it's just, it doesn't have any ill effect to the city. You don't even have to rescind it anymore. And it lets the budget officer and the council that needs to work on the budget have that tool in case there is something major that you can't foresee. It gives you just a little bit more room and more time to work out either financing or bonding. That was the explanation we got today from government finance.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Mr. Clerk, any residents joining us virtually wish to address the council on the resolutions?
At this time, Council President, there's no one looking to address the council on the resolutions.
Okay, let's proceed.
Madam President.
Mr. Mylum?
Motion to waive the reading of the resolutions.
Mr. Clerk, I have a motion on the floor to waive readings of resolution 1 through 19. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Peasley. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, you've been saved, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 1? Oh, I'm sorry, resolution number, are we starting with the accepting the minutes?
Correct.
Yep, resolution number 1, sponsored by Mylum.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Sheasley. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Roundstrow,
Aye.
Mylum, Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
resolution number 2, sponsored by Councilmember Mylum.
I'll second. Comments or questions?
Comment.
Mr. Fisher?
In kitchen table economics, a household that doesn't have a strong savings account and is living paycheck to paycheck, they wouldn't go out and buy a Lamborghini. But even if they tried, the redundant safeguard would be the bank saying no to the loan. In our case, the safeguard is the tax cap. We cannot tax ourselves into prosperity. To quote Winston Churchill, to contend that a nation trying to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle. If we override this tax cap, we're sending a message to the voters that we're incapable of balancing a budget. When the budget is proposed, we won't know how to handle it, so we'll just raise the taxes. The problem is the perception of fear. Even after this meeting, my words will be misconstrued, and people will say I'm in support of cutting the budget, and that'll be twisted into he wants to cut services. Nothing is further from the truth. Saying we don't need to spend thousands on stuff that is more wants than needs is not cutting services. Having a civil service commission that costs about $35,000 a year to maintain when we get the same service for free from the county is a waste of money. We could also do things like augment our police department with part-time officers subject to negotiations with collective bargaining agreements. So I propose this. Let's not grant permission to override the tax cap. Let's wait for the budget to come out. Let's stay inside the cap. If that causes a large withdrawal from the general fund, we, the council, should start to ask why. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Any other comments?
Madam President,
Mr. Rounstrau?
so point counterpoint. I just want to start out with one. I appreciate where Councilman Fisher is coming from. This is something that's been in consideration over the years that I've been on the council as well. And here we are again. Last year I voted against going over the tax cap. Where we were at the time, didn't seem as bad as it was. And my intention on voting against it was expecting a budget from the mayor that would see some substantial cuts from where we're at, knowing where we were at the time. What ended up happening is there was far more spending than we anticipated. A $1.8 million number that looked like more of a $3 million number. I think it was 2.7 that we earmarked to come out of the reserves to balance budget this year. The problem is never the problem. The problem is the way we handle the problem. And right now we've been painted into a corner where we've increased the spending, but we haven't seen increases in recurring revenue to match that. There's something to be said about bridging the gap until we get there. And I think that there's revenue on the horizon, but we need to get there. My point 2 years ago when I presented a budget wasn't even full cuts. The compromise was to put things into contingency accounts where we could make decisions as the year went on. And still that was voted down. Suggestions that I made last year as well weren't considered by the council on hand. So I don't have the confidence that at this point in time that we're going to find a full $3 million, possibly $3.5 million in cuts to get us to that point. I'm confident that all of us working together and are committed to it, that perhaps we can find some reasonable cuts, some substantial cuts, that perhaps we can take a little bit out of the reserve fund and potentially pass more than a little bit of a tax increase on the citizens. It's not what we want to do, but we need to do it to run the city. And that's my whole point on this too, going over the tax cap. If it's proven that we need to raise the taxes, increase the amount, it costs that much to run our business or run our city. We need to take ownership of that. We need to say, hey, we have to pass these taxes on to our residents, on to our homeowners, and accept the fact that we needed to do that and own it, each and every one of us. We can't move forward and say we kept under the tax cap, but took $2 million, $3 million out of the reserve anymore. We continue to do that. We're going to be down the road of many other municipalities that have been in a bad place. So my intention and my motivation is to get us to a reasonable point. I just am not confident that we're going to get down to the point that we need to, where we can't go over the tax cap. But I hope we're all going to continue to work together. I think there's going to be a lot of questions on this as we go on, and I, as usual, recommend everybody to reach out to your council members and talk to them about your concerns with going over the tax cap and where our taxes are now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rounstrau. Any other comments?
Yes,
Mr. Sheasley?
yeah, I totally agree with both these gentlemen, just being a rookie. We've got a lot of great services in the city. What are we gonna stop? What are we gonna cut back? I don't know where. I look at the budget. I've met with Adam, I've met with Mr. Reese in the past number of times, trying to say, okay, how can we, spend less money? Well, we're at a really tough point. I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna vote for going over the cap. Because we need that tool in as the proverbial toolbox. Let's look at it. Doesn't mean we have to do that yet. I'm just putting it out there in my vote, that my decision is gonna be made in the fall, exactly where we go. And it's gonna be hard on every one of us. I don't like it, as Mr. Milam said earlier, losing sleep over it. Lay awake at night. I'm not one to lay awake at night. I'm thinking, how the hell do we get that? Move forward and provide the best service, I think, in Western New York. I really do. I lived in the town for 16, lived in Wheatfield for. There ain't no better service and better employees in this city. This is the best in Western New York. We have the best, and we need to keep going forward, but we have to, let's do our needs, not our wants anymore. Our wants are, I want the winning lottery ticket the other night that was on in Florida for $200 million. It didn't happen. We have to go forward with what we have. And that's, my point is that I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna vote for over the cap because of where we have to go and keep it as low as we can. And I feel for the young lady at 92 Cleveland, I do, because it's a limited budget. We have, what's our 50,000? Is that their medium?
Yeah,
Right, okay, but that does include some older people. Like me, 73 years old, and some are living on Social Security at whatever that is. That's not going up worth beans. That's my point.
All right, thank you for your comments. Any other comments?
Yes.
Mr. Milam?
I don't want to go over the tax cap. But I think we have to at least have it there in case, because of what the could be. And I don't want to sit here and have to tell people, guess what, you're laid off, because if it comes down to that. That is a reduction in service. And then people will be angry that they lost their services. I get approached every single day about the budget. And one person in particular, every time I see her, she's telling me, you're taxing me out of my house. I'm shopping at the discount bin for my food. And that's where we are. We're forcing people to choose between food and their house. So I'm saying, I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but I think we have to have the tool here. But I also think if we can say, hey, we put it in place, I've got a bunch of tools hanging in my garage that I never touch. And that's what I'm hoping this is. I'm hoping this is a tool that hangs in my garage that we don't touch.
And that's why I'm gonna go over, but I would like to see us do every single thing we can, every single penny that we can find to not have to use this. But I fear the repercussions.
Thank you, Mr. Merrill. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley. Fisher,
Nay.
Hey, mine was I.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
There will be a public hearing on this though. This is not the last piece of this.
Right.
Resolution number 3.
Sponsored by Mr. Sheasley. I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4, sponsored by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6, sponsored by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions?
Comment, Madam President.
Mr. Rounstrau?
I just want to comment kind of on all of the bond resolutions as a whole, but rather than comment on each one, I just want to make a general statement now. I just want to thank our city engineer, Jason Lamonaco, for being here and talking through a lot of these. I've had several calls from residents who've read the agenda and said, you know, you're looking at going over the tax cap and you're looking at passing these resolutions, spending millions of dollars. I just want to say that, you know, a lot of these things are things that have been pushed off. Some of them have been pushed off, but they're things that need to be done to fix our city, fix some infrastructure. And also mention the fact that some of these are tied in with state funds and we've been helped out with that as well. So it is a lot of money that we're doing, but it's things that we're doing to improve our city. A lot of things that we don't normally see on a day-to-day basis, don't normally notice, but are very important for our roads and our streets and our garbage pickup to actually happen here. So I just wanted to have a comment on the record on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rounstrau. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7, sponsored by Councilmember Fisher.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Rounstrau. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum. Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8, sponsored by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Sheasley. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9, sponsored by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second? I don't know who raised their hand first.
Chris, go ahead.
Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 10, sponsored by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 11, sponsored by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Sheasley. Comments or questions?
Comment.
Mr. Fisher.
When you're at home and you're reading these bonds, it doesn't specifically say, it's for a garbage packer, a tree trimming vehicle, and a salt box to convert an old packer. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 12, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrau. Comments or questions?
Comment.
Mr. Fisher?
You're at home reading the resolutions. It talks about a pedestrian bridge. That pedestrian bridge is the Long Homestead Bridge. And this has also been talked about with the State Historic Preservation Office. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Any other comments or questions?
Madam President.
Mr. Rautenstrau?
Just one additional comment, as was brought up, this is one of the situations where we're talking about a $2.7 million project. That's also receiving $1.6 million in grant money, and another $400,000 in grant money, so, it's not all on city taxpayers, is what I'm saying. Thank you, and thank you to, the state and for the agencies that helped us out with the grant money.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrau. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 13, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 14, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution 15, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 16, sponsored by Councilmember Fisher.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 17, sponsored by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Seconded by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions?
Madam President.
Mr. Rautenstrau?
I just want to say I'm happy to sponsor these. The next three resolutions are for various events throughout the city from our great group, the COT Neighbors United. They do a great job of bringing neighborhoods together, community activities for kids. I just want to say thanks to them for providing these events and encourage anybody that can to step out and visit. There's really great events. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ronstadt. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution 18 sponsored by Councilmember Rounstrau.
Seconded by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution 19 also sponsored by Councilmember Rounstrau.
Seconded by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. Again, the battery in the microphone is dead, so please speak loud so we can capture your comments. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
Bill Simon, 6 Planet, Tonawanda. Thank you for finally getting off the dole, and it looks like the Spalding 2 parcels, the project is going to be moving along. We finally got some closure on that. The rest of the land is still owned by the city. Not very well maintained. Looks like we could cut the grass. Now, my question is, CAT does a great job. They cut all around, except the little triangle in the front. Does the city still own that where the sign is?
Correct.
When's it been cut last?
I would have to check. I haven't been by there. I haven't heard a complaint either yet, as of yet.
Yeah, it's that, not only that, but it's a garbage ship. Okay, not
No, it
that
is.
corner, but the rest of the
I agree.
property is.
Right.
It gets to the point where the deer don't even want to run down in there anymore. There's so much trash in there. People are throwing their yard waste in there. People are throwing their food waste in there. It needs to be maintained. If the city wants to market that and actually get something else in there, and thank you for the ones we do have in there, we've got to do a better job of making it presentable. It's not presentable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, any residents joining us virtually wish to address the council?
At this time, no.
Okay, Mr. Sheasley.
Couple of things. This coming Saturday, May 11th, between 10 and 2, the Post 264 American Legion, the Vietnam Veterans Association are having a Fill the Helmet drive. Appreciate any money. You go buy them, please donate, pull out your change. I'd rather see dollar bills to tell you the truth. I'm a member there of both organizations, and on Wednesdays and Saturdays when I'm a little coffee thing with the Vietnam veterans, if you see the veterans that have given to their country come in because they have no food, and our food pantry feeds a heck of a lot of people, not just Tonawanda, all over. As soon as you're a veteran, you apply to us, we'll make sure you get food. And that really, really helps out the guys and girls. Don't get me wrong here, is that they've given a time. And I work with a lot of these guys, and we do a lot of organization. We do a hot dog thing at the car show in North Tonawanda. Ever go by, there's 400 or 500 cars, classic cars. And we sit there and bust our butts because we're trying to make money to help our veterans. We give back. Also, on the 18th of this month, and I don't know, I'm going back in time, hopefully people understand. O'Connor's Tourist Store, which is owned by Paul Ertel. He's letting us park the cans from Tin Can Alley. There we're having between 11 and 2, we're having a collection of cans for the youth. Okay, appreciate any cans to be dropped off there. If you need them and you can't get there, call me. My number is on the website, city website. We're also selling hot dogs. Make money for activities for the youth. I think that's it, young lady.
Thank you, Mr. Sheasley. Mr. Fisher.
On the Chris Fisher Gives Back for this week, it's a joint effort with myself and Jacob Opolinski for Tonawanda Soccer Club. It's not actually, the money's not actually going to the soccer club. There was 2 children that used to be involved in the Tonawanda Soccer Club and they could not afford to be in the club. Myself and Jacob said they can't get in for free. There's an insurance cost and a uniform cost. So myself and Jacob together have sponsored these 2 children. So I'm kicking in more than $50, but that's my Chris Fisher gives back to the week. We're giving it to Tonawanda Soccer Club. Talking about taxes and different needs. In the Kenton B, they highlighted the City of Tonawanda Police Department hosting their first annual awards dinner. They call it the first annual because it's the first. The reason why I say that is we have new leadership. We have a police chief that, thought this would be a great idea to provide recognition. And the reason why I'm telling this story, I want to talk about one of the awards was the most parking tickets awards. Is that correct, Chief? There was most parking ticket award there? Parking enforcement. So I had an issue on Williams Street where there was a parking issue where the resident reached out to me. I reached out, Mayor, the chief. When the officer wrote the ticket, not only did he just give him a ticket, which we could write 10 of, he put the law, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying, he put the law and an explanation on the person's vehicle. So they only have 1 ticket need to be issued. So the resident would then see what the issue was and then correct the violation and it wouldn't become an ongoing issue. I thought it was out of the box thinking. I thought, anybody could just go out and write a ticket, but for this officer to go above and beyond, now I see why they have an award for such a thing. So I stand by the chief's answer to have an award ceremony. I think it was a great idea, forward thinking, first annual. I like it. Kenton B highlighted it. I just wanted to put a little highlight out there for the police department. We're going to go down the line here. Then we're going to go on to the fire department. The Women of Distinction Award. It was Allison Litz Custer of the City of Tonawanda Firefighters, was honored as the 2024 Woman of Distinction. I didn't have scissors. I should bring them since all the cuts we're gonna start making, but I had to cut ribbon out of the paper. If anybody wants to see it, she was honored in the newspaper. Talks about her work in the City of Tonawanda Fire Department, EMT, and a little bio about her. But I just wanted to say congratulations to her on being one of the 2024 Women of Distinction. The DPW, for those who sat through the roundtable, have to hear it again, but with the DPW and the sidewalk project on Main Street, the DPW did an outstanding, fantastic job of fixing up that sidewalk. There was arguments between blacktop and concrete. It is concrete right now, and it was a fantastic job. Hats off to the DPW. They didn't have a truck to pour because of the way we came to this agreement, but they ripped up 86 bags or so of concrete and had to do it in a mixer manually. They did it, and they did a fantastic job doing it. So I'd like to say thank you to the DPW. And that's what all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Mr. Rautenstrau.
Thank you. Really just want to say thanks to everybody that made it this long, this long meeting, so appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrau. Mr. Mylum.
Yeah, the flooding on Hackett is, I don't want to say return because it never left, but the issue is still ongoing. I want to thank our legal department for the guidance tonight on how to proceed. I'll be reaching out to the residents very soon with hopefully a step in the correct direction and get them to where they need to be with their yards. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations again to Allison Litz Custer. She's a great candidate for Women of Distinction. Watching her in that brand new truck that we bought, brand new one, sitting on a seat as proud as a peacock. She does a great job, and I'm really happy that she won that award. The next one is the electronic recycling was done this past weekend. We had 770 cars. We averaged 150 cars per hour come up to electronic recycling. And we made about $2,000 in the donations, which went to the Rotary Club of the Tonawandas. I want to thank BCR for it and Bill Conrad for sponsoring the event. I think it was very great by them to do that. Bill Conrad got the word out for us. The LDC, I want to thank them for their working with us to get the new signage in the city of Tonawanda, along with brightening up our downtown with our downtown pots that we have. I want to thank them for their donation for that. And it's going to look fantastic downtown. And also a green light because they started their work. As you can see, They started to work up in the fourth ward and they're starting to put their wiring in. So you'll see some activity on that. And, the front of Milton Cat, I do apologize. The first I heard of that, and I will address that first thing in the morning. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. The only point I just want to make is May 21st, is the school budget vote at the high school. Please stop on down, and exercise your right to vote. With that said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Sheasley. All those in favor?
All right.
Have a great night. Thank you.